how to make me be the big person. You guys know how to do that? Hang on a second. Let's see. Spotlight video. There. Okay. Welcome to our team training for August 16th, 2017. Our topic today is going to be about, not necessarily, well, I guess, yeah, prioritizing your life and focusing on the things that are important in your life so that you can have success in those things. So I'm just going to jump right in and get started. I was talking with Ariel about this, and she was like, Sherin, that's what your team training should be on. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I started thinking about it more and prayed about it, and I was like, yeah, I feel like this is going to be a good topic. So I'm listening to the book called Be Obsessed or Be Average by Grant Cardone. Awesome book. However, I will warn you, it's very in your face. So if you're not ready for that kind of book, don't listen to it. Because he talks about you be obsessed with your life or you're going to be, the average Joe. And so if you're okay being the average Joe, don't listen to that book. Anyway, but in there, he talks about how what he sees, because he does sales trainings and mentorships and stuff like that. So that's what he was talking about. And he was talking about how people will try to diversify and get involved, make a little bit of money here, make a little bit of money here, make a little bit of money here in 5, 6, 7 different things. And so they're splitting up their focus on multiple things. And he said, if you only have, he used an example of money, but he said, if you only have $12,000 to invest, you sure as heck better not be investing in 10 different investments because you're going to lose all of them. You better go all in on one investment and put your heart and soul into it and be obsessed over it and make sure you rock that investment. And then when you have enough, you can put it into other areas. And so I thought, well, how does that apply to Beachbody? And so for me personally, and it's going to be different for each of you guys, but for me personally, I started thinking about how, I try to do other little side jobs sometimes. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm not earning enough here right now. So I'm going to do this over here that takes 3 hours a week to do. Or I'm going to go over here and, do this thing or whatever. And I end up spreading myself so thin that what happens is I just say, it's too much for me. And I give up on everything. And I've seen that happen a few times in my business with Beachbody. And so for me personally, I thought, you know what, that's kind of being silly. And as he was also talking about, before he started talking about that, he was talking about ways to bring in extra income. And there's a few options that have come to me recently that I thought that's something I can do from home. It's decent money. It's not a ton of work. I mean, it's work, but it's not a ton of work. And I'm qualified to do it, but that's committing 2 hours every day. So if I'm going to be doing that 2 hours every day, maybe I should just focus extra 2 hours on Beachbody since I'm already doing 2 hours a day and do 4 hours. If I'm willing to do that other thing, what could 4 hours a day give me with Beachbody? And now that my kids are going back to school, I can legitimately do that. And so for me, I thought, well, let me pray about it. Let me think about it. So I prayed about these other 2 options. And both of them were just kind of like, duh, Sherin, you know what you're supposed to be doing, and that's not that. And I'm like, okay. And one of the options, I will tell you guys, because I eventually want to do it someday, but it's life coaching. I want to be a life coach. I love Beachbody, and I love what it gives me, and I want to utilize that with my life coaching. But I know some people aren't ready for fitness yet, but I still want to be able to coach them until they are ready to get there. But anyway, just looking into it, I knew that that's not what I should be doing right now. But it's something that I look forward to doing someday because it just brings me joy to be able to help see these people start from feeling so depressed and so worthless to feeling hope and a seed of joy beginning to grow in them. And so we do that with Beachbody, but it's just a little bit different because we mostly just do it with health and fitness. But anyway, so what I wanted to do tonight is work with you guys instead of just talk at you, because I feel like talking at you, okay, great. Yay, we're all inspired, and then we all go to bed, and then we forget the next day what to do. So I have 3 actions that I want you guys to do tonight. And the number 1 action is I want you to think of something that is 30 minutes in your day that is not necessary that you do. Maybe that's watching a TV show 30 minutes a day. Maybe that's some other little side job you're trying to do. Whatever it is, something that is 30 minutes a day that you can cut out of your life so that you can be obsessed over the important things. And maybe you don't want to be as obsessed with Beachbody as me right now. That's fine. But you know what? Maybe your family needs you more than watching that TV show, or maybe your marriage needs you more than that TV show. So find something that you feel like is important to you, that you want to improve, and then I want you to write down what it is that you want to improve and what you can cut out 30 minutes a day of. You don't have to share it with us unless you want to. If you want to, that's great, but you don't have to. And I decided that I'm going to cut out 30 minutes of sleep, which sucks because I love my sleep. But I decided that if I just wake up with the kids when they wake up at 6:30, then that's go, 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 go. I'm just slammed right into my day, and I don't feel like I can start my day the way that I want to start it. So if I get up at 6, before they're up, I have time to prep myself, to wake up, to do my prayers and my scriptures and my personal development before they're even awake. And so I decided that's something that's really important to me, because I feel like as the mom of the home, when I am waking up grumpy with them, it just sets the whole tone for the whole day. And I don't want them going to school feeling like mom's like, hurry, get on the bus at home. I want them to feel loved and appreciated, and that I'm eager for them to go and learn and not to get out from underneath of me. So I'm going to give you guys like 3 minutes to work on that. And I'm going to stop talking so that you guys can ponder on that and think about that. And then if anybody wants to share, you're welcome to jump in and share once you've written that down.
Did you say you wanted this time to be not talking?
I said I want this to be your time to pick your thing that you want to improve on and what thing you want to cut out. And so I don't want to sit and blab while you're trying to think on that.
Oh, okay.
Does anybody feel like they need more time, or do you guys all feel like you're good? You got your stuff? I got 2 thumbs up. Okay. All right. So does anybody want to share? Yay, nay?
Well, I was thinking like, oh, I feel like I'm doing pretty good with all the things that, I've not wanted to do. I've kind of been eliminating those, but then you said sleep, and I was like, oh yeah, I haven't been doing that for a couple of weeks, so that's a good one. That's what I'm gonna do.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Anybody else?
Mine is when my husband leaves for work at like 6 in the morning and it's still a little bit dark, so I don't want to go back to sleep, but I'll just sit and like look at my phone. But I don't really want to get up and do anything yet. But so, anyways, I'm gonna stop looking at my phone and just get up and work out.
That's awesome. Good. I know it's going to be hard because I am not a morning person. Yet right after I had, well, while I was pregnant with Weston and right after I had him, I was religious about going to the gym for almost a year and a half at 5 o'clock every morning. So I'm like, why do I have such a hard time getting out of my bed and doing it in my own house? Like, I don't even have to look presentable. So I decided, you know what, I can do it. And I know that I'll have a better day doing that. Okay. So does anybody else want to share, or do you want me to keep going with the next thing?
I can share mine,
Okay.
Lindsay. For me, I usually do work when Jane goes to sleep in the morning, and I usually give Owen the iPad to work. But what I'm going to start doing is I feel like one-on-one time with him is so important in his development. So I'm going to spend a little more time with him when Jane goes to bed in the morning.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm excited for that with my son because I'm going to be teaching, I'm going to do home kindergarten for him, homeschool kindergarten. And so I'm excited for that because I'm sure most of you can tell that I do a lot with Weston, but I do a lot, but it's like little teeny snippets of, 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there. And so I'm excited to be able to teach him school and spend a good hour and a half, 2 hours with him a day, learning and spending quality time with him. So that's exciting. Okay, I'm going to move on so we don't run out of time. The next thing that I want to talk about that is super important, and I already went over this with my team as far as for them knowing mine, but it's so important to write yourself out a schedule of when you're going to work and stick to it. So it doesn't have to, like, every day can be different if it needs to be, but you need to have it scheduled out and stick to it, and your family needs to be aware of that, because when you I love this business as far as you can squeeze it into little areas, right? If you have 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there, but what ends up happening is those 5 minutes turn into a 30-minute conversation, and your kid's sitting there going, mommy, 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 and you're like, just a minute, just a minute, just a minute, just a minute. And then pretty soon they're asleep on the bed next to you, and you didn't read them their story, and you feel like a bad mom. At least I do. So I finally said, you know what, I need to stop doing this, and I need to give myself hours. I need to let my team know when my hours are, and I need to stick to those hours so that everybody in the family knows these are mom's work hours. These are mom's time that I can play with them, read with them, do homework with them, watch a movie with them, whatever, go on bike rides during that time. And so I want you guys, again, I'm going to give you a few minutes. And I want you to think of at least, I don't know how much you want to work, so everybody's going to be different, but at least 1 hour a day that you can work. And I don't work at all on Sundays, so I don't know what your guys' stance is on that, but I'm not going to tell you when you can and can't work. But if you want to work, not work on Sundays, then I would pick 2 hours, at least one other day. But in order to build a business, you need to be doing at least a power hour every day. But then you can do more if you want. So you may want to do 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the evening. You may want to do 2 hours first thing in the morning. You may want to do 2 hours after you put the kids to bed. Whatever works for you, I want you to jot down your hours. And then we'll talk about the next thing that we're going to implement after that. Yeah, I get that, Holly. Trust me. So Holly said in the comments that she feels like it's super hard because her life is unscheduled. And I felt like that too. But then I thought, you know what? I get to choose my life and I get to choose to have a schedule. And when I don't have a schedule, I feel like I get way less done and I feel very chaotic in my life. I feel like I'm scrambling to do things. So I finally just said, you know what? I need to have a schedule. My team needs to know when my schedule is so that they know when they can reach out to me and that I'm going to help them. And that when they, you know, other times if they reach out to me, I may or may not be able to get back to them right away because that might be my family time and I might be gone. But maybe the kids, you know, fell asleep or something on Sunday afternoon. And so if you had a quick question, I can answer it. But other than that, I'm not like, I need to have those scheduled times because I am just realizing I am pushing away my kids, my spouse, my other friends, because I'm like, well, I'm working. I'm sorry. I can't come over and talk to you. Well, no, I don't have to always be working. And so that's something that's why I'm like, you know what? It works so much better the times that I have stuck with a schedule versus not. So anyway, okay, hopefully all of you guys wrote down something. And the reason why I want you to write down something is because the next part that we're going to do, you're going to put that into the next part. Uh-oh, Ariel's saying it's choppy. Am I choppy to anybody else? No? Okay. I hope the recording doesn't come out choppy. That would be bad. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do, I'm excited about this because I haven't done it yet, but I've heard of other people doing it with their businesses, and they said that it is just amazing, and it really clears up their schedules and stuff. So I want you to go to your app store on your phone, and I want you to pick an app to download to track your work hours. I just grabbed one that's called Worklog. I'm on an Android phone, so I will show you. But what I think is super cool is these can get super, super like crazy. And so, hang on one second, I need to go back to the home page on it. So you can add like your wage and when your lunch break is and all that kind of stuff, but you don't have to if you don't want to. And you can just check in and check out. If I can get back to that home screen. Come on, go back. Okay, so here's what, let's see if I can get it to, oh, come on, my camera, I really need a new camera. It is so not clear. Let me turn off this. Let me dim my screen. That should help. Okay, so you can kind of see. All you got to do is put your thumb or finger right there on that little, that's like a little fingerprint. And then it starts clocking your time. And then to stop clocking your time, you put your hand there. You put your finger there and it quits clocking your time. But what's cool about it is you can set your work hours. And so you clock your time and then it will notify you that your time's up. And so you're like, oh, I did my hour, I'm done. And you can walk away and clock out. And then it will track how many hours you've done. And then if you want to get really fancy, you can go in there and say, okay, well, here's how much money I made this week. I worked this many hours. How much am I making per hour? And all that kind of stuff. But that's not necessary. So anyway, but I have had a couple friends from other network marketing companies that said that they do that. And they're like, it seriously makes life so much better because when I hear that go off, I'm like, oh, I'm done. And I just log out and I shut everything down and I walk away and I go on and be with my family or go to, whatever else that they have going on for the day. Instead of being like, oh, just 5 more minutes. Oh, but if I got this done. Oh, but if I don't do that because there's always more that you can do. And it's, me and Ariel were talking the other day also about how it's kind of like laundry. There's always going to be laundry to do. You can't ever get all of the laundry done because as soon as you get it done, you're wearing clothes that are going to be dirty and you're going to have more dirty clothes. So instead of trying to get it all done all the time, just setting a goal and saying, I'm going to do 2 loads a day or whatever, depending on your family size. that you need to do. And it needs to be the same way with our business. There's always more we can do. But you also don't want to work your business until you hate your business, because that's not going to be a benefit to you. That's not going to be a benefit to your friends, your family, and that's definitely not going to be a benefit to your clients when you feel burnt out. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. Yes, Holly, did you want to talk?
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize that you were just going to like wrap it up, so I can wait.
Oh, okay. I'm almost done, and then you can talk. Anyway, and I just hope that it's helpful to give you guys some guidance of ideas of what to do, because I know that this whole week I've kind of sat down and said, okay, I need to get my head where it needs to be. And this burden just lifted, and I feel light. I feel excited to do my business again. I feel like my posts aren't that much different, and yet I'm getting people coming to me, and I'm getting traction, and I'm getting excitement that I haven't gotten in months. And I think it's simply because I kind of just said, this is what I'm going to do. This is when I can do it. And I don't need to keep stressing over, oh my gosh, did I get a post up? Oh, did I do this? Oh, did I do that? And I'm working when I can work, and then I'm not when I don't need to. So anyway, that's everything. If you guys have questions or want to chat about something else, then go for it.
Okay, so what I was going to say is that, like you're saying, you know, you get to the end of your time and you're like, I didn't do this, I didn't do this, I didn't do this. But one thing, I'm like a list person, you know, a sticky note person. You look at my desk and you probably couldn't even find my computer because there's sticky notes everywhere. But one thing Robin did mention, and something that in one of her methods, is that she has her to-do list. So like as she's going along, things pop into her head. I don't know about this part, you know, but I mean, she just keeps a list. So for me, when I'm coming along and I have what I need to do in the day, you know, I'm doing that, and something pops into my head, or somebody's name pops into my head, and I'm like, oh, I should, you know, anything that's going to like divert me from what I'm doing at the moment, like I write it on the list, you know. So then when maybe I have some free time, I can be like, oh, I could work on Beachbody right now. What could I do? You know, I can go to my list and there's like a list of things to do. Or when I get to tomorrow and I want to do some, you know, I have the time, there's my list of things to do to keep me on track. So, you know, we don't have to stress about not getting everything done in that day, even if it is on our list, because there's always tomorrow and you won't forget about it because it's on the list. So yeah, that's what I was gonna.
Yeah, I like that. I think that that's important, and I've been trying to do that every day during my prayer time, because I get so bogged down during my prayer going, I need to be doing this and I need to be doing this, and so I just keep a list right next to me, and when those things come into my mind, I just stop for a second, write it down, and go back to my prayer, because otherwise I'm like totally in la land, and I'm like, am I still praying? What's going on here? Because I'm thinking about that my kid has a dentist appointment this afternoon. And that's been really helpful, and I've been doing that for about 2 weeks, and I do notice that that's helpful, and then I just bring it upstairs with me and put it on the desk, and I got 7 things done out of 12 in one day, and I could have been like, oh my gosh, I still have 5 more to go, but instead I was like, you know what, way to go, Sherin, you did 7 of those things, that's awesome, and those other ones can wait. So anyone else?
So I could not hear a lot of things. Like I could not see, and then it was really choppy. So I had to exit out and come back in. Well, what was the app you were talking about?
Oh, it's just I just grabbed one. The one that I grabbed is called Work Log, and it's on, I don't know if you'll be able to see it at all because it's so, see, I don't think you'll be able to tell. But anyway, it's got like a blue background with a hand and a finger pointing kind of like this. And it's just going to log your hours. So you'll log in when you start working, and then you can set an alarm to say, I only work these 2 hours, and then it will beep at you, or you can just log in and log out depending on how you want to do it. But there's like 26, 27 different apps, and there's like 10 of them that are rated 4.2 or above. So I just grabbed one so that I could kind of mess with it before the call. And I don't know that that's going to be the one I stick with or not. I downloaded like 4. So I'm going to try them and see what I like and then go with it. So pick one you like. You know, it's got to be aesthetically pleasing to you so that you want to keep coming back, because there's one that I downloaded and it was all in black and white, and I'm like, ugh, ugly. I just uninstalled it. I need color in my life. So, okay, anybody else about the topic, or should I turn off the recording? Okay, well, I will stop the recording then.